we are one nation, and together we will begin the next great chapter in the American story.
बीएसपी उत्तर प्रदेश में सभी विरोधी पार्टियों को काफी पीछे छोड़कर यहाँ काफी ज्यादा आगे बढ़ चुकी है.
In 2019, an American magazine drew parallels between the first woman Dalit Chief Minister of India with the newly elected US President Barack Obama. We know what happened with Obama. But what in the world happened to Mayawati and her Bahujan Samaj Party in subsequent years?
ये जो यंग और असर्टिव वोटर है उसका झुकाव बीजेपी की तरफ भी बढ़ता जा रहा है और बीएसपी से उतनी अफिनिटी नहीं है जितनी की पहले हुआ करती थी.
Where does Mayawati stand in the political equation ahead of the 2024 Lok Sabha election? Have Dalit voters really deserted her? Or is there a political revival in the offing, starting with the Lok Sabha election in the Nagina seat in western Uttar Pradesh? The campaign for a party's candidate there is being managed by her nephew, Akash Anand. He's pretty social media friendly.
आकाश आनंद बीते कुछ साल से सियासत में सक्रिय हैं.
But there is another claimant to the Dalit vote in Nagina and several other seats in UP this time.
ये हमारी छाती पे हमारे कंधों पे पैर रख के विधानसभा जाकर हमारे लोग कत्ल कर रहे हैं.
We'll come to the story of this potential disruptor in just a bit. First, I will tell you the story that begins after the end of a famous movie. Well, a political plot would probably be a more appropriate description of what I'm going to tell. I'm Manish Adhikari and you're watching First Things Fast.
मैं मायावती
2 years after Mayawati was sworn in as CM, the Newsweek magazine in New York drew a peculiar parallel. In an article published on April 17, 2009, Jeremy Kahn wrote, Mayawati's supporters are trying to position her as India's answer to America's youthful black president. Obama had taken over as the US president a few months earlier.
With 3 words that will ring from coast to coast, from sea to shining sea. Yes, we can.
There are indeed parallels between Mayawati and Obama, Khan said in the Newsweek piece. Like America's president, Mayawati is young. She's also an outsider who comes from a long oppressed segment of society, the Dalits.
हमारे लिए दोनों पार्टी एक नागनाथ है तो इधर सांपनाथ बैठे. बहुजन समाज के मामले में दोनों पार्टियां हमारी हितैषी नहीं हैं.
In 2007, the Mayawati-led Bahujan Samaj Party had won the UP Assembly elections, securing 206 out of the 403 constituencies there with a vote share of around 37%. That was the defining moment in Mayawati's career. After 3 short terms as CM earlier, as part of dodgy alliances, the BSP had finally succeeded in building a rainbow coalition and a government that would last a full 5 years. It was the fitting finale almost to a story about the triumph of an underdog, a precocious talent first spotted by BSP founder Kashi Ram. But as they say, you give a success story long enough play and it is bound to kiss failure soon enough. Victory in 206 seats in 2007 was followed by only 80 in 2012. 5 years later, in 2017, the seats BSP won came down to 19. By the time the counting for the 2022 Assembly election was over, BSP's tally had come down to just 1 seat in the state assembly.
Some news just coming in. Mayawati, BSP chief, is speaking to the press after a wipeout in Uttar Pradesh.
कई हिंदुओं का वोट बंटने से सपा सत्ता में वापस ना आ जाए, इसके डर से इन्होंने बीजेपी की नीतियों व कार्यशैली से दुखी व परेशान होते हुए भी अपना एक तरफा वोट बीजेपी को अंदर अंदर ट्रांसफर कर दिया.
What's more, their vote share had plummeted to just 12.7%. You know why that is startling? That's because Dalits comprise 20% of all voters in the state. Not just that, half of the Dalit voters belong to Mayawati's Jatav caste.
ऐसी बदली हुई परिस्थितियों का भी मुकाबला करने के लिए अपनी वर्तमान रणनीति में परिवर्तन करके आगे बढ़ना होगा.
Then, on the cold winter day of 10th December 2023 in Lucknow, Mayawati declared her brother Anand Kumar's son Akash Anand as her successor. He'd been the party's national coordinator since 2022, and besides heading social media for the party, he had also overseen election campaigns in several states, including Rajasthan, MP, Chhattisgarh, and Telangana. In 2024, he took up a challenge that put him in the spotlight like never before. Welcome to Nagina.
बाबा साहब कहते थे, अगर कोई शिक्षा प्राप्त कर ले, शिक्षा क्या होती है?
शिक्षा शेरनी का दूध होता है जो एक बार पी ले तो सिर्फ दहाड़ता है और दहाड़ता ही रहता है.
The Nagina constituency in Western UP is a swing seat quite literally. Samajwadi Party won the seat in 2009, BJP in 2014 and the BSP in 2019. Way back in 1989, when parts of it were part of the old Bijnor constituency, Mayawati had contested and won from here as well. Some other top Dalit figures to have contested from this seat in the past include Ram Vilas Paswan and Meera Kumar. In 2024, after the Rashtriya Lok Dal and the BJP joined hands, many observers believe the BJP is a firm favourite here. In 2019 Lok Sabha election, when BSP had won the seat by a margin of over 1.6 lakh votes, it was helped by support from their then alliance partner, the Samajwadis. Not this time. Nagina has significant Dalit and Muslim populations according to experts. If you believe the Samajwadis, the Muslim voters are going for their candidate en masse. The BSP is banking on its core vote bank of Jatovs here, plus specific communities who may be unhappy with the BJP for one reason or the other.
अगर आपको लगता है कि हमारे प्रत्याशी उतने ही मजबूत है जितना हमारा कैडर, उतने ही मजबूत है जितने हमारे कार्यकर्ता, तो आप सब अपने हाथ उठाएं और बताएं कि यहाँ पे सामने वाले की जमानत जब्त होने वाली है और यही प्रत्याशी उसको वो मुंहतोड़ जवाब देने वाले हैं.
But there is someone who's standing between the BSP and the Jatav votes it thinks it deserves.
आपके लिए भी जाति में मायने रखते हैं, मुझे तो नहीं लगता मायने रखती है. बिल्कुल नहीं रखनी चाहिए. जब आपने वर्दी पहन ली और आप उस कुर्सी पे बैठ गए तो कोई जाति नहीं हो सकती है.
Meet Chandrashekhar Azad Ravan.
याद रखना ये नगीना लोक सभा के लोग जो फैसला करने जा रहे हैं वो फैसला सिर्फ नगीना का नहीं, वो फैसला इस उत्तर प्रदेश के मुस्तकबिल को तय करेगा.
In their book Maya, Modi, Azad, Dalit Politics in the Time of Hindutva, authors Sudha Pai and Sajjan Kumar say, the state seems to be returning to its older form of Dalit movements limited to sub-regions. Today, with the decline of the BSP once again, each sub-region has thrown up its own Dalit organization or party with a limited reach. In Western Uttar Pradesh, that Dalit organization happens to be Chandrashekhar Azad's Azad Samaj Party, Kashiram. Kashiram in brackets. They are the political inheritors of the Bhim Army formation, co-founded by Azad all the way back in 2015.
जिनको वोट देते आए, उन्होंने पलट के नहीं देखा, लेकिन इस बार ऐसा आदमी आपके बीच है कि आपकी तरफ उठने वाले हर आंख को जवाब देने के लिए तैयार है. आप मेरी बात को याद रखना.
Chandrashekhar studied law at the DAV PG College in Dehradun, practiced at the courts there. He started the Bhim Army in his village of Chutmalpur in Saharanpur district. Locals say after some Thakur men broke a Dalit student's arm for drinking water before they had quenched their thirst. Now, this is happening in the local college there. Dalit students here were also being made to clean classroom benches here apparently. That's until the Bhim Army stepped in with muscle and a message: unite and fight back. A few months later, the Bhim Army got busy again when the Thakurs objected to a board which read, "The Great Chamar." In another case, the Bhim Army stepped in to reinstate a Dalit groom back on his seat when some Thakurs forced him off a horse, taking him to the wedding venue.
चंद्रशेखर भाई, ऐसे तुम्हारे बीच में आए हैं ऐसे नेता, आज तक जिंदगी में जितने भी आए हैं, लुटेरे तुम्हें खून बहाने वाला कोई नहीं मिला. एक चंद्रशेखर ऐसा है, दलित का बेटा, जो तुम्हारे लिए पूरे देश के अंदर आवाज उठाता है, संसद भवन में तुम्हारे लिए लड़ता है.
The book I mentioned earlier, Maya, Modi, Azad, puts Chandrashekhar Azad's role in perspective. The BA, led by Azad, particularly represents this thread of impatient discourse that immediately resonated with the majority of the younger Dalits. To Azad, the ascendancy of the BJP's Hindutva and its winning over a significant section of the Dalits necessitates a politics of constant agitation. It is the modus operandi to rekindle the Ambedkarite spirit. Everyday agitation also acts as an ideological project against the politics of opportunism of the BSP, the book says.
मुझे वादा करके बताओ, मेरी मदद करोगे नहीं करोगे, दोनों हाथ उठा के. जो दोनों हाथ उठाएगा उसी की मानूंगा मैं. इतना तो रोजे में भी फर्जदा हो सकता है, नहीं हो सकता है.
In the 2022 Uttar Pradesh Assembly election, Azad contested against Yogi Adityanath from Gorakhpur Urban and lost his deposit. In 2024, he had camped in Nagina months in advance. But standing on his way is another, and according to some, a more legitimate claimant to the Dalit vote, Akash Anand, the inheritor of Mayawati's legacy, who's campaigning for BSP's Surender Pal Singh. Even if either don't win, the outcome of this Lok Sabha contest in Nagina will still be remembered for a long time to come, and perhaps fittingly so.